So I'm extremely grateful to have received a READS grant that supported research that was originally supposed to be the North Mississippi Witness Project, but it changed to the Deep South Witness Project. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the project and some of the outcomes of the project. And again, thanks to the READS grant, we were able to conduct this project. So this project is an adaptation of the Witness Project, and many people are probably familiar with the Witness Project. We've heard of it before. It was developed back in 1990. Oh my gosh, some of y'all weren't born then, but it was developed back in 1990 by Dr. Thea Spatz and Dr. Deborah Irwin, who I was wishing was going to be here, but she's in the Adirondack Mountains or somewhere. The Grand Tetons, yes. Okay. But this is a culturally competent, community-based breast and cervical cancer education program. And so the goal of my adaptation was originally just to adapt it to make it culturally appropriate for women in northern counties in Mississippi. However, because of the pandemic, and because I also switched institutions during that time period, I changed the focus. So as opposed to just focusing on women in northern counties in Mississippi, I ended up focusing on women in Alabama and Mississippi. And also because of the pandemic, I had to completely adapt the modality. So that's really what it became, an adaptation of the modality. It's no longer like the face-to-face implementation, but we were still able to maintain some of the key features of the original Witness Project, including using the format system, using storytelling, as well as experiential learning. And so I divided the project into 3 different phases. For phase 1, this was focused on community needs, a needs assessment of community health educators. And so we actually did focus groups and interviews with 9 community health workers in Mississippi and Alabama. And my colleague, Dr. Sheila McKinney from Jackson State, presented information on this aspect of our project yesterday. For phase 2, we went on to conduct interviews with witness role models, and this was another key feature of the original Witness Project. And witness role models are basically African-American breast cancer and cervical cancer survivors in the original version. And so for our version, we had to find African-American breast cancer survivors in Mississippi and Alabama to serve in that role. And again, because it was a virtual adaptation, as opposed to them doing the individual testimonies, what I decided to do was have them develop a video series. So I developed a video series based off of the interviews that I did with those individuals. For phase 3, we actually did the pilot study of the adapted intervention. So we had our community health workers go out and recruit a total of 37 African-American women in Mississippi, Alabama. And I think also there was a couple in Tennessee that participated in online sessions. And they also participated in follow-up interviews at 3 weeks and 6 weeks. And then phase 4 is where we took information from the presentation and developed them into social media messages. And this was actually presented by 2 of my students yesterday. And I'm so proud of them. They did such an amazing job, because what we did with this is we actually did some message testing with the social media messages that we developed. We did message testing with young African-American women at our college. And so all of this was due to the READS grant. I know it's $5,000, but I added a little extra to it from some other funds and made it stretch. And we got a lot out of that $5,000. And so these are some of the outcomes. So we had an oral presentation at a conference last year. We had 2 oral presentations this year that I mentioned. And then in the upcoming next month, the American Public Health Association meeting, we have an oral presentation, a poster presentation, and we also won an award for the video series with the witness role models that I developed. So I just want to say thank you so much to the READS grant for supporting this type of work. I was just having a conversation with my colleague, Angela, about how hard it is to get funding to do cancer education research. So without programs like READS grant, we would not be able to continue our work. So I'm hoping that this will just be the catalyst to some additional funding, which I'm going to be applying for in next January. So wish me luck with that. So thank you so much.